Hi, my name is Michael Seacrest. I'm one of the developers on the SpeedTree team, and I'll be walking you through some SpeedTree modeler basics in this video. We'll start by making a new tree model from scratch, and we'll use the template system to get going. So if I right-click in here, add template trunk, and we'll make a standard real-time trunk. So we add that. You can see we've got a new item here in the generation editor and a trunk in the tree window here. Next thing we'll do is to this we'll add a set of branches, and we'll do standard real-time branches. So if I zoom on the generation editor, we now have 3 elements in here: the trunk, level 1, level 2, and you can see a decent tree model in the tree window. The next thing I want to do is create a material to put on this tree. So I'll go to the Materials tab. I will add broadleafbark.tga. This is one of the texture maps that comes with the samples of SpeedTree. Open it up. You can see that it automatically found the normal map associated with it. It's based on the naming convention. And I'll take this material and drag it from the asset bar down to the trunk and drop it on there. We can also see a few other things about it. There's assign a different color set to it, and go edit that and maybe brighten it up a little bit. And maybe we'll add another material, a cap material, to put on the broken or edges of the branches. Add that guy and zoom in on here. Can drop that on there, so now the broken parts will have a nice cap texture on them as well. And if we click on the trunk, we can show you where these materials are assigned manually. If you want to do it that way, there's a materials group, and you can see the branch and the cap, and you can see where different materials in the scene are available here on this combo box. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is add some leaves to the tree, and I'll do that by clicking on level 2, adding a template, leaves, standard real-time leaves. So these are camera-facing leaf cards by default, and you can put meshes on that, which I'll do in a moment. Before that, I want to add a leaf material, so I'll go and add sample leaves 1. Open that, so we have a new material, sample leaves 1. Assign it a leaves color set, and go edit that and brighten that guy up as well. Then come back to the material and drop it on there. So now we have leaves. These are still camera-facing leaf cards at this point. If we want to make it something else, I can go to the Meshes tab, add a mesh. In this case, I'll use Crossfoil, and these are STM files, which stands for SpeedTree Mesh, but they can also be OBJ or FBX files of your choosing, or use ones out of our library. So I'll use Crossfoil, add that. We get a preview of what it looks like in here, and then I'll drop that on the leaf geometry. And now we have a mesh in there instead of the camera-facing leaf cards, and if I zoom in, you can see that pretty well. So that sort of covers starting with nothing and getting a tree with some materials on it in place in the editor. And now I want to talk about the difference between generators and nodes when you're editing a tree. So if I expand this guy a little bit and we zoom out and see all the different parts in here, each one of these circles is called a generator, and it represents a group of geometry. In some cases it may be making one thing, like in the case of the trunk, and I'm going to change the selection style to wireframe to make it a little more obvious. Or it could be generating multiple things in the case of level 1, level 2, or the leaf nodes here. So when you edit a generator property, and to make this a little more obvious, I'm going to turn off leaf rendering. I'm going to go to level 1 and go to the spine's length. When I edit the length of a generator, that is the length of everybody that generator makes. So I'm editing a whole class of things at one time. Similarly, you could do start angle and these other procedural parameters of the tree model. You can also take first and last and control where that it's eligible for things to grow. And I'm not going to go into detail about all the different options here, but this is just the general gist of how you operate and edit tree models. Let me get this length back into something that looks a little more reasonable. And now you can also get down and edit any individual part of the tree you want. You do that by switching into node editing mode with that button right there. So in node editing mode, I can click on any part of the tree. I can move it around, change where it goes, spin it around. And if you change the length now, this is an offset to the parameter that the generator gave it. So it says length 0, that means add 0 to what the generator says. So if I go in here and do this, I can make this one longer, I can make it shorter, I can change its start angle either by doing it like that or coming here and grabbing this manipulator and doing the same thing. So when you switch to node editing mode, you can move around any individual part of a tree. That includes leaves. You can take a single leaf and delete it. You can take a leaf and change anything about it. You can make it larger or smaller, anything you want to do. So generators get large sets of objects, and node editing mode gets one at a time. And if you notice that when I'm back in the generation mode here, when you click on a generator, the node that I edited by hand is highlighted in a different color, so you can see which nodes you've edited and which ones you haven't. And if I then come back and edit something else, like say disturbance, notice that the thing I hand edited or node edited gets the new value, but it retains the edits I made, so it's still in the position I put it in. It still has the length I gave it, so that you can continue to edit the broad categories and maintain the smaller node edits that you made manually. That concludes this video. Thanks for watching. Look for more instructional videos on the SpeedTree YouTube channel and at speedtree.com.